Hello, I welcome you all to this wonderful question in biology. This is an exam question and it came in 2023. So we want us to look at this particular question. You need to understand that this question is falling under a nice, wonderful topic called transport systems. And whenever we are talking about transport system, we need to understand two things that get to fall under the transport system. There's what we call the blood circulatory system. So we've got the blood circulatory system. We've got the blood circulatory system, also known as the, we get to call this as the cardiovascular system. And this cardiovascular system gets to contain or comprises of three things that we get to look at: the heart, blood vessels, and the blood. And when we look at the blood, you have to understand that a blood gets to contain four components that form blood. And the blood vessels, we've got the capillary, artery, and the veins. So it's a wonderful, nice topic in biology transport system. We can just call it transport in animals. So looking at this question that is here, the question is saying, the figure below shows the relationship between the blood, tissue fluids, cells, and the lymph. So there's something that is called the lymphatic system. I won't dive into that so much. I'll just be scratching a bit. The whole concept here is understanding this particular question. And if you need help at the end of this lesson, I'm going to share my details so that you get to join me. If you're watching this video now, this is the topic that we are looking at under my online lessons. It's a wonderful topic. We've not just started looking at this. So those of you under my lessons, I just wanted you to have some information. Even as we begin to look at this, you already have some ideas. So the first question is saying, identify structures U and T. What is the name of this structure U? The good part is that even if you don't know this thing that is here, this figure, you can even use some general knowledge here. So you discover that this figure is having some lymph in there. There is lymph contained in here. So this thing that is holding those lymph. So here we get to find some lymph fluids. So this thing that is holding, that gets to put some lymph fluids inside there, it is called a lymph vessel. So we are calling it a what? We are calling it a lymph vessel. So U is called a what? U is called a lymph vessel. Then this structure labeled U, you need to understand that these ones get to act as some veins. So there is a term that we get to call them, we get to say venule. So this is a term you need to understand, but you need to know that it is a what? A vein. This one, this is an artery. So I just wanted you to have some ideas. If we are told to label R there, we need to know those are arteries and these are veins. And we get to answer. So as you can see, S here is representing some nutrients that are moving. This is the blood. So from the blood entering into this thing that is called the lymph vessel. These ones that are here, these are cells. So you need to understand that those ones are what? Those ones are cells. I won't talk so much about cells. We know what cells are. So looking at this particular question, I think I've talked a lot. We've not yet answered some questions here. So structure U and T. U, where is U? Lymph vessel. And T, that is a venule. If we were told to say what is R, that is those are arteries. So we can put artery. S there, the S that is there, those are nutrients. Nutrients can be glucose, it can be oxygen, where it gets to diffuse, something that is diffusing out of the blood. Have you seen? So something that is diffusing out of the blood. So now, let us now look at this question that is here. The question is saying, name one nutrient represented by R. A nutrient that is represented by R, something that is diffusing out of the blood. We can look of what? Oxygen. So we can say R there, I mean S. We can say it is what? Oxygen. You can put oxygen, they will still mark you. You can say glucose, they will still mark you. You can put answers like proteins, they will still going to mark you. All these answers are correct. You can just pick N of these three. We now move on to this other question. We move now to this question that is here. The question is saying, compare the blood pressure. They want you to compare the blood pressure at R to that at T. The blood pressure at R and T. How is the blood pressure? Since these are arteries, you need to understand that arteries carry blood at a very high pressure. They carry blood at a very high pressure. So what are you going to do? You just say that blood pressure. So you say blood pressure. You just tell them that blood pressure at R. Blood pressure at what? Blood pressure at R is very high. Is very what? Is very high compared to T. Compared to what? Compared to T. So you say compared to what? Compared to T. Then they were telling you to say, give now a reason and give a reason for your answer. So what is the reason? Since we know that arteries carry blood at a high pressure, so those veins carry blood at low pressure, in other words. So they carry blood at a very high pressure compared to blood pressure at T. What is the reason? The reason is that arteries, you tell them that artery, you just say that arteries carry blood at high pressure. At what? At high or higher pressure. This is the reason. So you are done. They give you some marks there. I guess you are able to see how I'm answering these questions without any struggle. We now move on to the last question that is here. This is also one of the wonderful questions. Aside this, the previous question I'm from answering, you also need to understand that the pressure in blood at R, which is at artery, can also help the nutrients diffuse out of the blood into cells. So that pressure that is at R can also help some nutrients diffuse out of the blood into those cells. I guess you are able to see some cells there. Those cells. These are the cells. So it can also help. That pressure can also help. Very important. Let us now move on to the last question. The last question that is here. This is the last question. This last question is telling us to say, explain the role of structure U in relation to blood circulatory system. Structure U. What is this structure U? Structure U, my friend, where are you? It is here. This is what? This is the lymph vessel. So what is the role of that lymph vessel in relation to a blood circulatory system? You just need to understand that this structure U, the lymph vessel there, what it does is that it transports some corrected tissue fluid from the tissues to the blood vessels. This is what it does. So it's just going to correct some tissue fluid. So here you get to find a fluid that we get to call lymph fluid. So it is going to correct some tissue fluid from the tissues. Have you seen? We are saying that these are tissue fluids. So it is going to correct them from the tissues, from the tissue fluid. This. So it's called that they will enter in there. They will enter there. They are going to enter in there. Once they enter in there, then they are going to be called what? Lymph fluid. So it is going to correct those tissue fluid from the tissues. Have you seen? From the what? From the tissues to the blood vessels. So this is something you need to understand. This whole topic is falling under a topic that we get to call lymphatic system. You just need to understand that. So the lymphatic system gets to help in the immune system. It gets to help in the absorption of fats. So this is also an important topic in biology that a person needs to understand. Join my online lessons where I'm going to explain these things at a nice pace. You get to understand them so easily. So I guess you've learned one or two things, and this is where we are going to end from. Don't forget, I do conduct tuitions. Those of you interested, this is my number. Contact me on this number. I help you. I'm going to help you at an affordable fee. Don't forget, I do have a Facebook page, and I want you people to follow me. This is the name of my page. Kindly follow me also on Facebook so that you get to be updated on each and every information I get to post. It's very important to have a family supporting you. So you can also follow me on if you are on Facebook. I don't know the platform you are using to watch this video, but you can also follow me on Facebook if you are on Facebook, so that you get to be updated on each content, information, and everything that we are doing. Thank you so much. This is the name, Harrison J. Zulu. Like the video, don't forget to share and comment. And lastly, let me know where you are watching me from. So this was a wonderful lesson. It is a wonderful lesson, and you need to make sure that you get to understand such questions in biology. Thank you so much.